Good news, more good news, and bad news. First good news is we're back. Hi, hello. Second good news is that we have a bedroll. See, it actually exists. And the bad news is that our heavy hammer is still MIA, and we may have to, as a result, turn back from Desolation Point with no tools as of yet.
Surrounded by snow and nothing to drink.
Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more of The Long Dark in our Against All Odds series. So we are back near the entrance to the zone, and still not quite sure where all the wolves are in here, but what I'm going to try to do is pay a quick visit while I'm here to an important... Actually, you know what? Alright, I just heard one of those wolves off to my left. I'm going to pay a quick visit to a part of the zone that I haven't searched yet, which may actually have some good stuff. And while I'm right here, I'm also going to go ahead and drop... Oh, I'm not carrying as much coal as I thought I was. It's mainly just all of these training books that I'm carrying. My god, there's so many. Okay. I have some extra clothing I don't need at the moment. We're going to come back for this stuff, don't worry. But I'm just really overloaded with extra items at the moment. What is it that's weighing me down? Because I thought for sure it was coal.
This much gear.
Spray paint's definitely contributing. It's the books. It's the books. I gotta read the books. But more than that, it's also the rifle. It's the sticks. It's all the crap we're carrying. So, what's weighing us down? Everything. Literally everything. But that'll make our load a little bit lighter. What I'm going to do is jump across here towards a spot that I haven't quite visited yet, as I just mentioned. Kind of a blind straightaway here, because there could be a wolf on the left or potentially on the right. And that howl that I just heard did seemingly... Hang on. Are you serious? Right now? Where? Okay, I don't hear pursuit music, so that wolf is not barking at me. Alright, let's get back to actually drinking this soda. I know, you're cold. We're just going to check something real quick. So there's almost certainly a wolf somewhere back here. Thankfully, I have this rifle, so we're going to use it. Okay, yeah. Pretty sure I just heard a wolf kill another bunny. There's a sapling. Nice. Okay, so no wolves over here to the right. Where'd that sapling go? Was I just seeing things? I might have been just seeing things. Hang on. No. There's one right there. So the wolf must be down through there, not far. Oh, of course, I don't have a hatchet yet. Oh, I was excited, okay? I thought there might be an opportunity, but we're going to go back a little bit farther here. We are pretty slow at the moment. I have some things that I want to leave at the Riken, but truth be told, I have so little extra coal. I want to go back for some fuel. So we do have to go back to the Riken. But there's not much point in bringing the extra coal. Oh, look, a boat. That might have something handy. Maybe we'll check that on the way. I don't think I'm going to actually grab that coal that I dropped now. So that stuff that's waiting for me, that I just put on the ground, we will get on our way out of the zone. Because we have to walk back by that direction anyway. Okay, head on a swivel. Not sure if there's going to be wildlife back here, and I kind of suspect there's going to be. Based on the directional audio that I've been hearing. I don't see one. The weather actually seems to be getting slightly better, too. Okay, so there's a backpack. and a campsite. And a prop deer. Oh, nice. And some crackers, which I'll take. And probably eat immediately. Nothing in the backpack. Alright, well, that's frankly disappointing. We're going to eat these ASAP. And also, I'll go ahead and drink some coffee. Not only for the caloric value, but also restore a little bit of the thirst meter and reduce fatigue. So now I'm going to head straight to that boat and do some beachcombing, and then head to the Riken. So boat, then bigger boat, and then we're going to get the heck out of Dodge. Unfortunately, without any tools. And, I mean, it's funny, because when I first decided to come to Desolation Point, I didn't say, we're going to go to Desolation Point and get tools. We were coming here to look for a bedroll. And then along the way, I was like, well, we can make tools while we're here, forgetting, of course, that I didn't have the heavy hammer yet. So that became a secondary objective that was added after the fact. And then I quickly realized within an episode or so, oh wait, no, that's not happening. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this boat. Hopefully not deal with too many problems along the way. Beachcombing is one of the most interesting new systems that's been added to the Long Dark. Well, Beachcombing has been in the game for a long time, but like the kinds of things that can wash up on shore now for the last couple of years have dramatically increased in number. Okay. So there's another fish that I'm not going to do anything with. Nothing here. Yikes. Okay. Not a lot on the boat. I am a sad panda. Okay. Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Thanks. Thanks for that pile of nothing, game. I appreciate you. Just kidding. I don't. How dare you. Okay, so we're going to lose some health here on our way back to the Riken, but we have to go back to the Riken because primarily we need lantern fuel, and there's a massive amount of lantern oil there. Oh, that's a locker. That might be worth checking. Thankfully, we have full health, though, so we can risk losing a bit. The weather is really temperamental right now. That's a suitcase. It's not a locker, it's a suitcase. Nice. It cannot make up its mind what it wants to do.
I'll take it.
Hey. Well, that is welcome. Not only a pair of fleece mittens, let the memes commence, but a nice pair of fleece mittens. A new pair of fleece mittens. 97% condition, so I'll take it. Yeah, the weather's actually improving quite nicely. The wolf that I was worried about is a stealth ninja at the moment. I don't know where the wolf actually is. I thought it was going to be, like, on the other side of this rock, for sure. But no. It's just not. One thing I may do as well when I get to the Riken, depending on how much wood I left laying around, which might not have been much, if any. But one thing I may do is melt some snow, get some additional water while we're right there at the forge, and have some shelter against the cold. There are also technically a few other loot spots that I can check while I'm wandering this area. Mainly the boats and the crashed car along the coast, so, well, not coast, but like down at the bottom of the cliffs. So I'll check that as well. I could also go out to those farther islands, but at this point, I really need to keep moving towards Mystery Lake and furthermore towards Milton. As long as we don't have tools, this is especially useful sort of guidance for those of you who are newer to the Long Dark. When you're playing at high difficulty and you can't find things like knives, you can't find axes out in the world just automatically without having to make them. It really behooves you to stay close to the zones where there are a lot of buildings and a lot of just like packaged food, packaged beverages, canned beverages, things that you can... Oh, we're going to go around this way. I turned left a little bit too soon. Things that you can consume without using a match to light a fire or cook anything. And you really don't want to start braving zones like the Hushed River Valley until you have tools. At the very least a hacksaw, but preferably a knife and a hatchet. Actually, there's some wood right there and I'm going to grab it. I don't know where the wolves are, but I'm just glad the weather is decent at the moment. We had a couple of days without episodes there. For those of you who wondered, and a few people did send some nice messages or just check in, I appreciate, I appreciate the thoughtfulness. Everything's fine. Just what it comes down to is I got a phone call from a friend last week, like after midnight one night, and hadn't talked to this friend in a couple days, but just they needed an ear. It was a very difficult and draining conversation, and given the busyness of my schedule, I found that it kind of like took a good amount of energy out of me, so I took the weekend, this past weekend, to just sort of decompress. Unplanned personal time, but it was necessary. Okay. I'm gonna dare to lose a little bit more health here. Well, tell you what, I'll check the truck on my way out, because I can loop back the other direction. I'd rather go straight to the Riken, but I do want to check that truck. What'll be ironic is if there's a heavy hammer sitting in the truck. That's what will be ironic. I hear howling in the distance constantly, and it's just increasing my anxiety, but I don't actually see any wolves. I haven't seen one all episode. I've heard one bark at me, but no pursuit music, thank God. And I've heard one or two rabbits die in the jaws of a wolf this episode, but oh, there's one. Finally. Okay. Oh, there's the other. That makes a bit more sense. See? Speak of the devil, or the devils in this case, and they shall appear. Alright. Into the Riken we go.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
The weather is so good at the moment, I don't know if you noticed that, but even before we stepped inside the Riken, we had started to warm up. Just because the stuff we're wearing right now is that good. Okay, the main thing I'm here for is this jerry can. I'm not going to bring it with me. I'm tempted to, but it's just not worth it with all the other stuff I'm carrying. Alright, we're going to drop that again. And now, very temporarily... Okay, yeah, I did put a good amount of wood down here before, which I'm going to do more of that. We're good on matches. We've actually done pretty well finding matches early on. For this kind of loot table, we're lucky. How many stones was that? Just one? Okay. Yeah, the main thing that I'm lugging around too much of, I've got like more than 10 pounds of just books that I haven't read yet. Are there any of them that I have read that I haven't dropped? No. Pretty good about dropping them once I've read them. Okay, we're also going to drop this scrap metal, because that's extra weight that I can't afford to lug around. Yeah, there's more that I wish I could drop at the moment, but I'm going to hold off. Okay, let's make absolutely sure I've checked everything in here, that I didn't overlook a really obvious, super convenient heavy hammer laying around somewhere. I'm kidding. I didn't, but it would be funny. Let's use our bedroll for the first time. After we... Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and drink a cup of herbal tea. We may have still had a benefit from the last tea that I drank, so I'm not sure if that was actually worthwhile. But let's sleep for just a couple of hours. Mainly just to regain warmth. Bit of condition, but mainly warmth. Okay.
This pack.
Weather is still really nice. Wolves could be anywhere, though, so let's be mindful of that. Okay, there's the one that I was seeing a moment ago. Both of them, actually. Didn't see me. We're not actually losing warmth at the moment. Feels like 38 degrees Fahrenheit. That's how nice it is in Desolation Point as we are preparing to leave. So that's a bit of a gift, and I do appreciate that. So we've searched most of the zone. There are a few nooks and crannies where some minor items might be hiding, but on this loot table, it would be incredibly unlikely that anything super lucrative was hiding in those spots. And yes, I say that even with the consideration towards the loot table refresh that happened semi-recently. Because even though they did change where everything spawns, and that sort of allowed us to have a new experience with the game, and of course even more so now with the wildlife refresh, there's still a certain method to their madness. There's a way that Hinterland does things when it comes to where things can appear and where they can't, and it's not impossible for very rare items like the heavy hammer to be found in very obscure places. Oh, hi. There's a moose up on top of that bridge. Speaking of refreshes, did the moose just charge me from the top of the bridge? I think it did. So, if there's a moose, that presents me with an interesting opportunity. Unfortunately, I don't have any tools, so I have no way of actually getting the skin off of a dead moose. So there's a pry bar here, which is nice. There's a firearm cleaning kit, which is also nice. Alright, let's try not to actually piss off said moose. Because just by walking up into that truck, we made him mad enough that he tried to charge. And I don't know how close he got to me, but we might be about to find out. Oh, looks good. So the only downside is that we might have actually spooked the moose toward the church based on the angle that we were kind of at below the bridge. And if that's the case, we might have another encounter in just a second. But as I was saying, there's a certain method to Hinterland's madness that they adhere to even with the loot table refresh. They didn't completely change their way of thinking. They just spread things out. One of the reasons that the refreshes have been so useful, both for loot and for wildlife, is that a lot of the things, especially in like Mystery Lake and Coastal Highway, a lot of the what's the word? A lot of the probabilities, a lot of the chances that were set for certain things to appear. We're going to go for that burdock up there. A lot of those were based on the world being smaller, which of course the Long Dark's world was quite small when those zones that I just mentioned were added to the game. Okay, I'm going to be very careful here because I'm not sure where the other wolves may be. Seems like most of the wolves at the moment are lower in the zone. God knows what we're using to chop this thing down. You hear those sounds. It's like we don't have a hatchet. All right, no moose. I believe I've already checked that car. Possible Adrian shake coming up here, depending on if I get jumped. Nope, looking pretty good. Where's the moose? I guess we ran him off in the other direction. So, that's good. I do have a bad feeling there's going to be a wolf like right here, though. So, oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. So we are officially, as of this moment, on our way out of Desolation Point. and back into Coastal Highway. And then what we'll do is head straight to Mystery Lake and then straight to Milton. Because as long as we don't have tools, we need to stay in areas where, you know, we can get the heavy hammer and then make the tools. All right, I did check this car already. So that's what we're going to do. I'll probably search most of Mystery Lake before I go to Milton. And then once we find the heavy hammer, kind of depends. Oh, God. Freaking demon. For a second, that looked darker on the left. Oh, man. Okay, a lot of low-lying wolves. Oh, crap. I can't run at the moment. If the wolf comes through that pass chasing that deer, it's going to see me. Okay, so we're approaching my stash of things that I left. There's the wolf. R.I.P. demon. Oh! We've got a wolf up here on the right, very near my stash. That's an interesting position. It's going to be close. Actually, I'm going to get low to the ground, because that wolf was... If you by chance either have directional audio, like stereo, or if you have headphones, listen to that howl on headphones or earbuds, and you will hear how close it was on the right. So I have a feeling this wolf is going to be, like, right here.
That guy who drank his own pee doesn't seem so crazy right now.
Jennifer, why is that the first thing you say? Why is that your immediate comment? What is the matter with you? Okay, let me check something real quick. Yeah. Cannot harvest intact carcass with bare hands. I've been playing the Long Dark for so long that certain things that I very rarely do, that I might have tried to do when I was a new player, I've kind of forgotten what happens in certain low gear states. Like things that I never attempt to do without certain other things. Like, for example, if I don't have tools, I don't try to harvest carcasses. And I know that once carcasses freeze to a certain point, they become harder to harvest easily. That's always been the case. Okay, let's keep going this way just a little bit. But I genuinely couldn't remember. Because I very rarely... Well, no, I literally never try to harvest a carcass without tools. Why? Because I need them. But I was like, well, like, it's a fresh kill. Like, can I do anything with this right now? I just wanted to see. And the game didn't even let me interact with it. So, no. The answer to that question is no. Okay. Have not yet checked out this truck. Good. I was just thinking, if I look down into the floorboard of this truck and there's a heavy hammer sitting here, I'm going to lose my mind. Okay. I'm carrying more crap than I want to be carrying at the moment, to be honest. One thing I may do when I get back to Coastal Highway is I might sit, cook for a while, read for a while, get some of these books out of my inventory. Pretty much do that for as long as I can before I head back to Mystery Lake. Oops. Let me not miss the turn. I'm so, like, skittish. Because, especially at this spot right here, because this is one of the few areas where I watched Athenon for a bit when the wildlife refresh patch had just dropped, and he was right here, and there was a wolf, like, along this path right here, in a spot where you wouldn't normally expect a wolf. And so I don't know where that wolf's full patrol route is. Does it patrol through this gap? Probably not, because wolves don't do well with stuff like that. Which is why there's not a wolf in the dam anymore. When you have natural obstacles, even if they're not very bad obstacles. Hannerland tends not to put wolves, like, walking immediately over those. But still, like, I don't know. Who the heck knows? Okay, hang on. One thing I will be able to do to lose a few pounds of carrying, of encumbrance, is this. I see some more over there, so we'll grab that, and when I get inside the mine, which I'm about to, I can drop my antiseptic, which I believe I'm still lugging around. Oh wait, I'm not, actually. I've already dropped it. Okay, well I still need the old man's beard, in case I do finally get hit by one of these wolves. So yeah, next stop, Mystery Lake, classic long dark territory. And then straight to Milton until I find the hammer. And then, of course, we'll be closer to the Forlorn Muskeg Forge, which is where we're likely to make our tools. I left a lot of wood and coal at the Desolation Point Forge, and there's still a lot of coal in the transition zone here, so that if I needed to come back to Desolation Point and do something for arrowheads or something like that much later, then I have that option. But that is, of course, a question for another day. Alright, so one area that I haven't searched yet in this zone. It's worth acknowledging. Well, not really. I always think of this as like a section that is separate from the rest of the road, but it's actually not. This rope spot is just a way to get down to the end of the road, which is a different way down than the way that we just took. So it's one of the more pointless, unless I'm missing something. Feel free to tell me in the comments if I'm missing something there. But it's just an alternate route. It's one of the more pointless rope spots in the Long Dark. But that spot over there is where we found the prop deer and the backpack earlier. And I was hoping to find more, honestly, but c'est la vie.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay. Yeah, I do not have much in the way of... Well, I don't have any water at the moment, so that's a problem. So I'm having to drink my tea, which is also a problem. But at least I have a storm lantern full of fuel, which I will use. Oh, I didn't check this drawer when I came through here. That's interesting. There's lantern fuel. That's hilarious. Alright, so there's some coal here. Not going to pick up any coal whatsoever. There's no point. And in fact, you know what? Hold on. I am going to do this real quick. Because we'll probably end up doing better time-wise. We're going to harvest this clothing. Starting to get pretty dark. But I think we can make it back mostly to Coastal Highway before the end of the episode. So we're pretty much going to beeline. We'll stop at the Quonset, do some reading, get rid of some of the extra weight that we have on account of carrying all these books. Do some cooking, raise our cooking skill, that'll be good. I should have brought that cooking oil with me from Desolation Point, but that would have weighed me down a little bit more, so... Once that's done, though, it's a matter of just getting to the top of the zone and back to Mystery Lake. We've already been up there once. Just we didn't actually enter the ravine. The nice thing about that path is that it's one of the transition zones in the game. Transition zones that have been added to the Long Dark later tend to be more barren. There aren't a lot of transition zones that have, like, a reliable amount of, for example, cattails and food spawn points and all this. Well, The ravine, you can usually count on the ravine to give you stuff that you need to kind of make it through said ravine. Which is nice. So, what I mean by that is I can eat most of my food that I have here, do some reading. Oh, hey, salt. Check that out.
I would do anything for a drink right now.
Okay, I'm not going to keep harvesting all the salt I find, because that actually is, it's pretty heavy stuff, truth be told. For those of you listening in the background who didn't see what I just saw, go back and rewind about like 10 seconds. It's worth it, especially if you were paying attention a moment ago when I was talking about whether or not I dropped my antiseptic. Yeah, I definitely dropped my antiseptic. That happened. This is what happens when I take a couple days off. Okay. Now, of course, we've already searched this locker, although... Did I see some stuff on the ground there? See, now that I have this lantern and it's full of fuel, I'm a little bit more confident, like, using it to illuminate areas like this where stuff can be hiding. But apparently not. Okay. Let's go ahead and... A couple things. We're going to pop out here. Reishi mushroom. Now, we did kill a wolf the last time we came through here, but I have no idea where the other ones are and whether or not they come all the way back here in their routes. And I'm inclined to think at least one probably will. Whether that's the one I killed, I don't know. But let's head back this way. So again, mission accomplished. We definitely got our bedroll, which is what we were going to Desolation Point for. Had to travel a little bit farther than was ideal to get it, but we got it. So now we have a little bit more mobility. Unfortunately, until we have a knife and hatchet, we're still down some critical items, which forces us to follow certain paths. This is one of the reasons, by the way, I haven't really expounded on this in more detail for those of you who haven't heard me talk about it before. This is one of the reasons that I'm really excited about the custom gameplay editions that have been announced for 2025. They're going to expand the suite of options that is available to custom players like me. I played The Long Dark almost exclusively on custom difficulty because I like playing complex simulation and strategy games like this, where there's more of a sense of like being able to tweak the experience in one way or another to make it more interesting, whether for YouTube or just for personal play. So one of the reasons I'm really excited about the changes that have been announced, I don't know exactly that this is going to happen, but the one that I'm most hopeful for, that I've mentioned the most, and I've already mentioned it at least once, I think, in this series, is that we could potentially have the ability to have a knife and hatchet, the man-made, or not the man-made, but the manufactured knife and hatchet, as opposed to the improvised knife and hatchet, spawn in low loot table settings like this. Because right now we don't. There's no way to decouple the low loot table settings, which are really fun and challenging. There's a ton of scarcity. It makes things really intense, but you have to make your tools. So it railroads you towards specific spots, and you have no choice but to go to specific spots earlier in the game. Now, it's better than it used to be because there are more forge locations. There's just more spots where you can go to make your tools. But having said that, even though it's better than it used to be, there's still a certain amount of like railroading that happens. And what I mean by railroading is you have to go to specific spots in order to progress in the sort of sandbox. And because it's a sandbox, the real fun of it is being able to go in any direction you need to based on the demands of the simulation. And I find that the Long Dark is really at its best when it's wide open and you can go anywhere and find what you need, as opposed to needing to go to specific places. So one thing I'm really excited about is a potential future Against All Odds series where we play on the lowest possible loot settings, but can still find a hatchet and knife in the world. That would be cool, because then we wouldn't have to do what we're doing right now at the beginning of every series at this difficulty, where it's like, okay, let's find our heavy hammer, let's find our hacksaw, we need a bedroll, obviously, but that's almost a separate thing. And then let's go and make our tools. Okay, now we can go anywhere we want. I'd rather have that at the beginning, but still have all the challenge of the low loot table, if not a even lower loot table than what we currently have. Who knows? They might add that too. So cross your fingers with me, and as 2025 progresses, we will hopefully learn more about what is coming in those updates, but probably after episode 5 drops, which is the thing that's top of Hinterland's priority list for the coming months, I think. And hopefully sooner. When I say month, it's hopefully like February or so. Anyway, I'm going to pause just to make sure I don't have a save point when we hit... I don't think it'll do a save point when we just get to low thirst, but just to be better safe than sorry. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. For early episodes, channel emotes, and member badges, look for the join button. New episodes will be arriving at 1 p.m. US Eastern Time every other day, and comments are always welcome, so leave your thoughts below. And I'll see you next time.